guys, it's Patty from Patty's Crafty Spot, and I am here to share with you a new project for Crealies. This is going to be a fall-themed mini album. Let me walk you through first what I used. So from cards number 182, these thinlet dies, I used those. I used on the edge die number 51. I used from Big Labels and Tags number 13. And I also used on the edge die number 45. So let me just show you what we did here. So you're going to want to make 3 of these pages. I've got 2 made already. This video I'll walk you through when I made this one here. So let me just show you what it looks like. Opens up, and then you have some photo flaps right here with some belly bands and lots of pockets. So this one here is full of everything. So let me just walk you through it. So the belly bands keep the flaps of our envelopes closed, just like that. So then they open up. And then inside I have my photo mats. And those fold down. Behind these tags that turned into envelopes, I have made 2 spots to hold tags. The center part here is glued down. That way your tags won't slide. And then we move our way back to this back pocket here with just a little thing for photos. And then over here, one more pocket. We open up. Then go ahead and create that. And then all this stuff tucks all back inside. Just like that. And then let's get our photo mats in. So these, just this page alone is going to hold quite a bit of photos for you. And then we pull these down, and our photo mats all tuck inside there. And just like that. And then the whole thing will open up this direction. And then you have 2 photo flaps right here. And then it closes over, and then the back side will be adding some pages to that. All right, and then this was the other one. So you can see that this is going to be a really nice, fun book to play with. A lot of interactive elements with all the pockets. Anyway, I have a full tutorial on how I made this one, and I hope you enjoy what you see. All right, enjoy, guys. So we're going to get started and make our page. So you need to prep a few pieces first. So first of all, I cut out from Big Labels and Tags number 13, and I am using the largest die for my pockets. So I cut that out with that one. You're going to need 2 of those. So those 2. And for part of this, we need to decorate kind of as we're going because we need to fill in our pockets. So I just cut out 2 pieces of pattern paper. Then I also cut out 2 pieces, and these are 4 3/4 by 4 1/2. So I'm not sure how well you see that. Let's see. I don't have anything. So I went ahead and filled it out. It's been a while since I made an album like this. So you're going to need to cut pockets, 2 of them at 4 3/4 by 4 1/2. On the 4 3/4 side, you're going to score at 0.5 and 4 1/4. And on the 4 1/2 side, you're going to score at 0.5. So those are these 2 pieces right here. You can see my score lines. Then on our large tags here, we're going to put it in, and we're going to measure over 5 1/4, and you're going to make a score line of that. So let me just show you. This is your tag. Place it in and score at 5 1/4. You're going to need 2 of those as well. Then for the base piece, this one here, it's going to be 9 1/4 by 6 1/2. Score on the 9 1/4 at 0.5 and 8 3/4. And on the 6 1/2, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then you're just going to need 2 strips of paper at 1 inch. So let's get started with our pockets first. So you're going to do these 2 here. And the first thing you need to do is add your pattern paper. So to add my pattern paper, I want the nice stitch line here. So I'm going to put that right up to about there. And then I'm just going to make a mark. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Alright, so I went ahead and cut those off so you can see that's what we had. And I did it to both of them. So now you're going to take your tags. And we have our score line right here. So this is where we're just going to fold over. And this is making our envelope flap. And fold them both over and score. So now we need to go ahead and add our pattern paper first. So I'm just going to glue mine down. And this is what you have right now. You get the other one. So again, I'm taking the stitch line, the stitch portion, and I'm putting it here because that's going to be the opening of my pocket, and I want the stitch line to show. And I'll show you. So you can see where my score line is and how my paper is almost to it, but not quite. So now I have those 2 there done. So now what I need to do is take my 2 pocket pieces, and I want to add a decorative element to my pockets. So I'm using on the edge die number 51. And I am just going to go ahead and eyeball this to the center. So as you can see, that's where I'm sticking it, and I'm going to cut it out. Alright, so I went ahead and cut that portion out. And I did add score tape all the way around. So I have these 2 right here. So what I want to do now is I want to just cut off my corners. Just like that. And then these parts here, I just want to give them a good angle. That way when you fold it under, you're not seeing the black cardstock as much. Okay. And now we're just going to go ahead and fold on our score lines. And make sure you don't want any overlapping. You want it to line up even. So this one is like perfect. And burnish that down. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick it right on top of my pattern paper. So as you can see, the pattern paper is the exact same size as my pocket. So if you ended up putting this down first and then the paper, you'd have to cut it actually a little smaller to get it to fit. But I want the stitch line, so I had to go ahead and add my pattern paper first. So line it all up and then stick it down. And then this one. So now you have your little pocket with your little flap. So let's just do the second one. And the tags are kind of fun because you can use the whole tag and then the top part you can make it into your envelope. And then it'll give you a nice pretty element on there. Alrighty. Alright, so now we have this right here. And what I want to do next is, let's go ahead and just add this piece here. So I'm just using the back side. So what I want to do is line it up where it's going to go and then just see how much you have to trim off. So we need to trim a little bit. All right, let me trim those. So I went ahead and trimmed them down. However, I decided I wanted to put these on the top of my envelope flap. So that's where we're going to go ahead and put these two here, and then I'll cut out pieces for the other part. And I will need to, again, cut out tag. Oh, no, I'm not doing tag. Not yet, at least. Use that one. Let's do the second one. Just make sure before I glue it down that it lines up. So we have that. And let me go ahead and cut out another tag so I can do that part there. So then I cut out my paper here. This is going to be for my pockets, but let's first go ahead and attach down this flap for this pattern paper for my flap. And let's do this one. All right, so we have that one, and I actually cut this one a tad short, but that's okay. So now what I want to do is I measured across and the width-wise for this piece here, so that will fit right there. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick it on the inside of my pocket. And take my pencil. And I just trace that there. Then what I want to do is take this piece and my die. And I want to go ahead and line it up right on top of that pencil mark. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. So as you can see, I went ahead and cut that piece off. And also what I did was went ahead and I set it on top. Then I wanted to see if I had enough room here. And if you have to do any trimming, do it now. So I did have to cut off a little piece. So I can glue this one down now. And now I'm just going to go in and line it all up. That. And we'll do the same thing to this piece. So test run first, make sure we're good. And I did go ahead and inked my edges already. So I did that. Alright, so that part there is done. Now you need to grab your 2 1-inch pieces, and these are going to be for your belly bands. So what I'm going to do on these ones, let's get this, clean up this out of the way. A little more room. Alright, so now with my belly band, what I want to do is I want to measure down 1 inch. So I'm going to take my ruler and measure 1 inch. So up there. And I just want to make sure I'm going to be even. And do it to both pockets. And then if you line up your pencil marks, they should be even for the 1 inch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm using tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this over. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to go ahead and put my paper right up to that 1 inch line I drew, and then make sure I'm squared off down there. So let's do this. So that 1 inch there, I'm going to add some tape. So we're sticking down our belly band. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to fold it under, but I want to make sure that I'm not super tight because I want to be able to slip photo mats under there. So I'm going to take my ruler because it's a little thick, it's got a little width to it, and I'm going to place it underneath and then line that up. So I'm folding the paper. Making sure I'm squared off so I have a nice straight line. So my belly band is going to come over. Now you want to, when you go to pull it, because you're going to just lay it down there, you'll see like a little bit of a gap up here. You don't want that, so just push this down so then it gives it a little bit of a bow. So I want to make sure I'm lined up with my pencil mark. Tape first. Line up with the pencil mark first and then push. And just tape that down. So now you see you have a little bit of a bow there. So let's do the same thing with this one. and some squares, some tape. Find my pencil mark. The first one you can put down, you can go ahead and make sure it's tight, so that don't matter. It's the second one you got to be careful of. So again, just to give it some space in from my pencil mark. And then just fold it over a little. And make sure that's square. Tape again. Fold it over. Push down. Watch your pencil mark. And so yeah, again, you can see that little bit of gap there. You can kind of see that. So that's how that's going to go. And so this is what we're looking at right now. And as you can see, they line up even. So now I'm going to cut a little strip of paper, pattern paper for right there. So I have my little strips that are going to go on just like that. So let's get those stuck down. There's that one. And then this one here. And now these are going to be your closures. And I'll show you 1 second. So if you have, here's my photo mats. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to close there, and then your photo mat will help keep your pocket closed. All right, so now the next step is you want to get your base page that you've cut, and your pockets are going to go on top, just like so. Oops. On top, just like this. So first thing we need to do is we're going to go ahead, I'm going to add some score tape right there. And this is because you need to add this because it's going to go in a page, in a little, yeah, it'll go on your page. So this is part of the page we're building right now. And this one. Now this is just prep work to stick it on the page. So I'm just taking care of this portion right now. Because I do need to fold it over to make sure my pockets are where they need to be. All right, and let's see. So let's go ahead and we're going to cut off our corners. Just like that. And now we have this. So we're going to go ahead and just fold this over. And then burnish it all down. So we have that. So on this piece here, I want to round my corner. So I'm using my 1/2-inch corner rounder. So this is what I have here. So we're cutting here and here. So let's go ahead and get that cut. So now you open it up, that's what you see. And you can just go ahead and trim these pieces back. Let's cut those off. So if you go ahead and hold this down here now, your pockets are going to go ahead and fit on just like that. So now we are working with a small gap in the middle here, and I want to fill that in. So let me show you what we're going to do there. So I'm going to measure down. So I've just under 5 1/4, so I'm going to cut a strip of paper for that. Alright, so I went ahead and cut a little strip of paper the height of these right here. And then I cut a piece to put up on the top of my pocket. So we can go ahead and attach this one now. This one's stuck down. And you don't have to worry about going all the way down, and that is because you're not going to even see that part. And then this piece will be something like that. So now what we need to do is we're going to take one of our pockets, and I am going to add some score tape. That side of that, and then we're just going to come on one side for now here. Okay. And basically what we're going to do is just attach this onto there. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it's even or not. You can see I'm crooked. What we're going to do is take our other pocket, and that is what's going to go on top like that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and, so as you can see now, this is how we're going to be. So first thing is I'm going to add some tape to this side. And then to the bottom. Just like this. But I'm only going to take off this one side, okay? So I'm going to make sure it goes flush right up against the edge and to the bottom. So I have this right here. So it kind of opens a little bit. So just like this. And what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add some more tape to this side here. And then my pocket, I want to add it to this side here. Some touch like that. And then the bottom, and then the outside. All right, so we have, right now we have tape all the way around. So what I'm going to do now is I want to line this up. So again, I'm flush to the edge here and square it off at the bottom. So now I'm just going to remove my tape. There. So I have that piece like that. So now I can just open it up, and I'm going to peel my tape from there, and I'm sticking it to the back side. So now we have that. So now we need to stick this down, but what I want to do is run a little bit of glue down the center here so it will stick inside my book. So to do that, I'm just holding it up to the light so I can see. So you can see I added a thin little bead of glue. And what I'm going to do now is remove all my tape. Tape from there, and I do see I need a little more glue at the top. And then I'm just going to lay it down. And doing the glue in the middle will keep, when you make tags, it will keep your tags from sticking to any tape that might be stuck in the pocket. So I need to let that part dry first. But we can go ahead and we need to attach this to our page. And yeah, so this is what I have here. So no, we're not going to touch that yet, but it will go on like this. So this piece here is 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. So that's that size right there, and that's this piece. So we can just attach the bottom. So I'm going to line this up. Yeah, we can stick the bottom down. So then right now it'll flip up. And if you want, so you don't have to worry about anything getting caught on that part, just going to add some tape. This is currently what we have. We still have our tape on the sides here and here, because this eventually is going to get stuck, but we need to cut another element for right here. So let me get that set up. All right, so I cut out a piece of paper, and this is 9 1/4 by 4, and I scored at a 1/2 inch on each end. So that is 9 1/4 by 4, and I'm scoring on the 9 1/4 inch side at a 1/2 inch and 8 3/4. So I have that right here. And I'm just going to fold them just to make life easier. And I'm using on the edge die number 45. And this is going to go in the inside. So what I want to do first is, I like to make sure everything is even. So because this is eight 1/4, so I'm going to line up 4 1/8 to find my center. So I just drew a line in the center, right there. And this piece here is approximately, I'm going to go down 1 3/4. So, and draw another line down this way. Make sure you're using a pencil because you will want to erase that. So what I like to do with my dies is I like to always find the centers. So I put a little black Sharpie mark right here. So what I want to do is this dot that I have, I want to line it up. Actually, I guess I didn't need that one, so let's just erase this one. We don't need this one. Because I forgot how I'm doing this. So backtrack. My little dot right there. I'm going to line it up to the center of my paper. I'll show you. So you can kind of see my pencil line going across. I know it's hard to see my marker dot, but I got one there, and then I'm putting this right up to the edge. So let me untuck those and cut it out. So that is all cut out. Now just take that out. And now we need to cut out our pattern paper. So I went ahead and cut out a strip. So on this here, what I like to do sometimes, so a little different than the way we did the pockets, only because I forgot to do that first. So this is going to go on top. So I want to cut it out so it will match. So if I take it and go like this, okay, and then I'm going to center it up to in between my score lines over here. And then I can flip it over and do my pencil mark again. And that's just so I know I have it lined up. So I can take this off now. And now I'm going to take my die and go over my pencil mark. So you can kind of see my pencil mark there. So this is going to go on top. And once I'm sure I have it where I need it, I can go ahead and tape it down and cut it out. So this is all cut out here. So let's get this off. And then I'm just going to, I don't want to tear it, so I'm just going to cut it. And then I'm just going to make sure I line up. So looks pretty good to me. So let me just ink those edges real quick because I didn't do it yet. Okay. So I can go ahead and just fold those down because I want to make sure my black is centered all the way around there. So looks good to me. Let's go ahead and glue this down. And we have that. So now we're going to take our page again. Now what I want to do is I want to see how much that I want to show. So just looking at it here. And let's measure. So it's a 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and make a mark 3/4 of an inch down. And on this side. Down. Okay. So now what I want to do is cut another strip of paper, but I need to make sure it's long enough so it will cover into here. So that looks good. Let me cut that. that was slide there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead, open this up, and I'm going to find my pencil marks I just made. Oops, I got to turn it this way so I can see it. And I'm going to stick this one down. And let's get there. And that looks good. So now you can set it down. So now you'll have a pocket here. You'll have two individual pockets here, and then you'll have a pocket here. So you don't need to go all the way down with this, but you're going to have that. And let's go ahead and I'm going to slide this in just like that. So I'm going to ink this one real quick too and stick it down. So again, just a test run. Looks good there. So let's add some glue. Slide it under. Stick that down. So this is what we have right now. So now what you can do is go ahead and remove the tape from this piece. And there we go. We have that part. Now we just need to do one other simple part, and we're actually almost done with this page. Super pretty. All right, let me cut those pieces and I will show you. So our next step is we need to cut a piece that is going to be 8 1/4 by 8 3/4, and we're scoring on a 1/2 inch on the 8 1/4 side at 1/2 inch. So I went ahead and cut that and scored, and then added my tape. So I have tape on the side. So we're going to go ahead and trim up our tape. And just whack up those corners. And fold this back. And then we can burnish this down. And this page is going to go on top, so it will open like this. So let's make sure we get this on all squared up. I think it looks good there, so I'm going to stick it down. So now we have our page opens like this. So then the next thing you need to cut is, out of the slimline dies, cards number 182 is these pieces here. And I cut out my white already. So you need 2 of these. And then you need 2 strips of paper that measure in between, right in between. I know it's hard to see, but it's in between these because I want to see my scalloped edges. And these ones here, I'm going to go ahead and score at 3/4 of an inch on both. And fold these back. Just like that. Now we need to add some tape. So for this here now, I'm going to add the tape to the outsides. One side I can add it to both, but one I'm only going to add it to the outside. Let me show you. And let's get this on both sides here. So I'm going almost all the way up to the score line, but not quite. And on this side, just the outside. Because when I fold this, I want to make sure my little scallop edges are not over here. So I want to put it, you can see, kind of like that. I don't want it like this, okay? And I can go ahead and I'm going to add some tape on this piece. So this is what we have right now. I'm going to fold this under. And just test it out. So I'm going to flip this over for this piece here. And then I have this one like this. So let's see. All right, I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do it. I think I'm going to unfold it and stick it. So let's get all the tape off to start with. So I'm paying attention to my score line. And I'm sticking that down. So you can see if I fold it, you can see the black cardstock, the little hinge here is like right up to the scallops, but not all the way. So let's do it one more time. Because these are going to be photo mats. And I'm not going all the way. Let me show you. So I'm not going all the way edge to edge. I am stopping a little bit before because my hinge is shorter than my page. So I don't want any tape showing. So if you do end up with tape showing, just trim it off. That way it doesn't stick your pages together. So there we go. So now we have two flaps. And as you can kind of see, it goes almost all the way, but not quite. So now what we want to do is stick this down. We're going to open up our book. The first one is going to just set right up here, just like that. So once I have it where I want it, I can go ahead and stick that flap down. So now you have a flap here and then this whole thing. And then we're going to add the other flap to the far edge. And make sure you stick that down. So now we have, it'll open up like this, and then it'll be kind of like a hidden page underneath. So I already went ahead and cut out my white cardstock for those. Let's line it all up. That one. Now you can leave these blank. You can add pattern paper if you want to. That one, and let's just hit this side. This back side. And there we go, we have that. So we have our two flaps, and then the whole thing closes over. So I'm going to cut out my pattern paper for these pages, and I will show you. So let me just show you what I did. I went ahead and added my pattern papers, and then these are my flaps. I left these white right now because I'm running kind of low on some of the paper, so I might add some pattern paper to this afterwards. However, it's also just white, so you can go ahead and add photo mats. So that's how that page is completed. This page is now done. Now I'm just going to show you how to go ahead and do a little pull out over here. All right, so right now we're going to go ahead and work on our flaps. So these here are 7 inches. All right, little issue with my camera. These are 7 inches wide, and then they are 8.5 inches long. The length, you want to make sure you keep them fairly long because we are going to cut them down. However, we are going to go ahead and find our center again. So if there's 7, 3.5 is in the center. It's my center line. And my die I figured was, I think it's 1.25 inches. So this one you do need to go down because we're making our thing on the outside. So let me just see if it's 1.25. Yep, 1.25. So where's my mark on here? Didn't find my center yet, so let's do that. So 3.5. And then 1.25 inches. And that's good. So now again, what I'm going to do, same thing as before. I'm going to tape this down and cut it out. So I'm finding my center mark on my die that's right up here at the top to my center line, and then I'm centering up the 2 sides of this die here to my line. So, and I'm going to do it to both pieces and cut those out. of those cut out, and now because I made my center line going all the way down, I'm just going to follow that to cut that off. That one, and same thing with the next one. We have those. Now I'm going to go ahead and erase my lines. Alright, so that's done. So basically what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put these, I want to layer them. Maybe trim that one a little bit more. So I want to layer them so when they're in the pocket, you can see kind of like a nice double element design there. So what I need to do is, I already have one made. So 6.5. And then what's the other one? 7. Okay. So I want to trim this one down here. Let me just check. 6.5, so 7. Am I right? So I'm going to measure from here backwards to 7 inches and trim that off. Alright, so I trimmed them both to 7 inches. So I'm 7 inches from this cut edge to here, and then just one of them I'm going to score at a 1/2 inch. And then we're going to attach them as pages. So let's go ahead and get some score tape on that. And then we'll see. So I have that. And what I want to do is trim back. Fold that over and burnish it down. And then this is going to sit on top of this one, making sure our paper is all lined up. And then you'll have a little staggered look right there. And just like that. And then to do the pattern paper, the same thing. I'm going to cut a little short and then open it up and trace it like I did on those others. But then this will fit right in here, just like that. And then you'll see that nice double decorative element. So let me get some paper cut out for that one. Alright, so I cut out my paper, and let's see, it's too far. Alright, it's a little better. So my camera's washing out. So again, I'm going to do this one the same way I did the other. So this piece here I want to put on top. So I'm going to set it underneath to trace it. So, however, want to make sure I'm going to get it right. So I'm going to do the same thing again as I had been doing. And I'm watching and looking to see as if I've trimmed it into place. So now I can go ahead and take those off. And now I'm going to go ahead and line up my die to my pencil marks. And run it through my machine. Alright, so then that's cut out. Now I don't know what I did here. And that, and again, because I have my pencil lines, I can trim that up. Just like that. And now I can take my book back and line this up here where it needs to go on that one. Just like that, and then I'm just going to chop that piece off. And I'm going to do this the same method on all four sides until we have it all decorated, and then I'll have a piece there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same as that, but this basically is all done. You know how to do the other pieces the same way. So let me show you what it looks like completed. So this was my first one I did right here. So I have my belly bands holding down my flaps for my pockets. And then in here I have my photo mats also tucked in nicely, just like that. And then I have my tags in the back. I also create another photo mat. So this is basically the same idea as this. However, I just folded it in half and then tucked it in. So it's the same thing, just measured it. If you want measurements, this would be 6 by 7 3/4, and then the other piece would be 6 1/2 by 7 3/4. Score on one of the pieces at 1/2 inch, and then just go ahead and attach those. Did I do that, or is it just a full piece? Oh, never mind. This is a piece that's 12 inches wide, so it's a full 12-inch piece, and then I just cut it down to, what did I say, 7 3/4, fold it in half, and then added this. And then that is just stuck in just like that. And then the back page is another pull-out section, and it just opens up like this. And again, I'm running low on paper, so I didn't cover all of it yet. And then everything just tucks all right in. Just like that. And then my photo mats. Just like that. And then keep everything all tucked in. And then we open all the way up to our inside flaps right here. All right. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You're going to want to go ahead and make 3 pages. So I still have one more to make, but you're going to want to make 3 pages for this booklet. And if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, Patty's Crafty Spot, or Crealies YouTube channel, go ahead, give them a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button already if you're not. And until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.